Before this video starts, I'd like to address that I mean no hate to the tournament itself, nor the people who are partaking in it. I am making this video to spread awareness of the properties within the tournament and how such properties are unjust. March 29th, 2021. A new tournament by the name of NAPL got hinted at by the owner of one of the top teams in an attempt to revive the scene. With the top team RGU soon disbanding on March 10th, it sparked the same idea to make the same $500 prize pool again. Mimicking the tournament format of COL winter season, Alchemy and Hustle, a duo making NAPL, needed help, so they recruited circuit staff working for the same upcoming tournament. They also recruited Mantis and Aiden to work for the streaming team with a proper layout, making the tournament look as professional as possible. Sadly, the tournament was not as professional as thought to be when it was first made, showing its true colors only 3 weeks into the tournament. Before and after the tournament even started, Alchemy was talking about using Hustle and Klaxon tournaments, a very, very famous tournament organizer within the Asia scene, to his advantage, saying he just has to gain their trust. Not to mention him also overworking circuit staff and abusing their free time just for him to slack off and be lazy during the week, which is not really something you hear most professional directors do. During week 2 of NAPL, multiple teams were supposed to receive point deductions due to them leaving before the final SS, which they were told not to multiple times by admins and mods. Alchemy changed the rules and decided to give them another chance, since they will not listen to you because you are not me. Thinking you are above someone is just very egotistical of Alchemy himself. For one, you can't change a rule mid-tournament. That's just unprofessional and an excuse for you not to do the work that you're supposed to put in. Then to top it all off, you need to respect your fellow coworkers as genuine people. It's just immature treating your own team as if you were the only one that was doing work in the tournament. Big news for you, you aren't. Things got even worse when week 3 came along, where Alchemy was clearly showing his bias towards IVM, IV Militia. He claims that Versi was stream snapping, but his proof was that Jinsu was definitely muted, which is not like him in VC. Whereas Menace, the captain of D2Y, mentioned Snoopy from IV Militia was in the same VC muted and deafened. After accusing Versi of stream snapping, he goes into the recording channel. Keep in mind at this point both captains have said no to recordings, and he asks both teams if they are 100% sure, which leads to Snoopy asking for Vice's recording. Alchemy basically pressured Snoopy into asking for our recordings. All of the NAPL admins and staff, except a few, thought there was nowhere near enough evidence to even talk about a possible disqualification. But still, since teams requested recordings, we had to follow rules and go along with it. Later, after all this happened, Alchemy then accused KH, another team, for ghosting against EA for the week before, week 2. The difference here is he never said a single word about this after the match, which you think a director would do to try to keep his tournament truthful. Mentioning he wants recording twice from the Versi vs IVM game, then once one of his fellow admins asked, "Why don't you do this every time, man?" He goes away to quote unquote poop. In fact, Alchemy said himself, either way we know neither one hacks, however shouldn't both the recs be together, whatever that means. To sum it up, practically stating that he knows none of the teams hack, nor have any connotations towards such actions, yet pressuring certain teams to ask for other people's recordings, that something just doesn't add up there, in my opinion. To summarize what has been said here, Alchemy, the director of NAPL, visits a blatantly biased opinion about the current competitive scene, and in all honesty most likely doesn't believe a team can get better and beat one of the most notable teams, just as Versi did with IVM. He introduces personal affairs, biased opinions, and is an overall unprofessional, egotistical director. He overworks and practically abuses his staff. He has tried to manipulate a big organization and his fellow director Hustle, and he has yet to properly do anything within the tournament he has hosted. He is not set out to be a tournament director, yet he believes his say at the end of the day, whilst practically doing nothing, is the most important, and will stop teams from doing whatever he says is such an issue.